What's going on, world? It's your boy Steve Dab 317. Let me get my microphone moved over, angled the correct direction. All right, this was going to be a little bit different. For those of you who are not already familiar, Chat GPT was released in November of 2022, and there's been a lot going on, a lot of speculating. So this specific video is supposed to kind of be like an explanation or overview. And throughout the video, I'm going to stop, share some of my thoughts and opinions, and I definitely would like to hear what you think about it. If you're not already familiar with it, you'll definitely want to watch this video because it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing, at least from what I know about it so far. All right, jumping into it.
Oh, hell no.
There have been many movies on the
Audio.
rise of
Good.
robots to try and show people what the world might look like in the future. However, now we're much closer to knowing with the rise of artificial intelligence and, to be more specific, generative AI. So what is generative AI? Put simply, generative AI is artificial intelligence that can generate new content, rather than simply analysing or acting on existing data. Perhaps in the last few weeks you've heard more and more about OpenAI and their new product, Chat GPT. It's been trending on Twitter and has amassed over 1 million users in just 5 days, which in itself is mind-blowing, having launched on the 30th of November 2022.
All right, so November 30th. But real quick, I do want to say, in order to utilize this search tool, this search engine, this AI tool, you have to enter some additional personal information. So, like, you have to put in your email address. You have to confirm it. You have to put in they ask for your first name, your last name, your telephone number, and they also want you to confirm that by sending you a code, just to kind of look at the beta version of the system. They say they're working out a lot of kinks right now, but just something to be mindful of in while we're living in a world where information is of such high demand. So
But what is ChatGPT?
that'll make more sense later.
What is OpenAI? And how does this revolutionary technology actually work? Here's how it happened. Generative AI has been described in recent months as the most talked about tech in Silicon Valley, and OpenAI is right at the heart of it. You might have seen their other program at work, Dall, a text-to-image AI software that creates images based on simple written inputs.
Dall 2 is a new AI system from OpenAI that can take simple text descriptions like a koala dunking a basketball and turn them into photorealistic images that have never existed before.
OpenAI, the business, was founded in 2015 by Sam Altman and, you guessed it, Elon Musk.
Did not know that, but I will say I am not at all surprised. I was just having a conversation with one of my neighbors yesterday or the day before, and I mentioned to him that I think in my lifetime, Elon Musk may be one of the most brilliant people that will walk this earth during my lifetime.
Musk stepped down in February 2018 to focus on Tesla, but remains a donor and advisor to the business. Their goal at the time was to advance digital intelligence in the way that is most likely to benefit humanity. At its core, OpenAI is an artificial intelligence research business that has shifted from non-profit to capped profit. Despite no longer working day-to-day at OpenAI, Elon Musk thinks that its latest program, ChatGPT, is scary good. But before we come on to ChatGPT, it's important to note that it's not the first go at an AI chatbot. Microsoft launched Tay in 2016, but within the first 24 hours, Twitter users taught it rude, racist, and misogynistic language, which led to its downfall. Meta have also launched BlenderBot 3 in August, but again it fell down for similar reasons, as well as providing false information, even to questions like who became president in 2020, suggesting Trump had won. OpenAI is trying to avoid these kinks by employing Moderation API, a moderation system that assists developers to show when things go against their content policy, like illegal or unsafe information. It's not 100% accurate, but it's
All right, so this leads me to my first question. If they have individuals who are going to be moderating the app, and I'm assuming a lot of that is going to be trying to filter through some of the data that's being input, like how is that going to relate to this AI's ability to generate information on its own. And I know that information is generated, I'm assuming, off of information they pull from other places, but at the same time, it almost seems like at some point, maybe the AI will start trying to, I don't know, come to conclusions about things that maybe it's not 100% factual about, but just putting bits and pieces together, and maybe it'll at some point make an assumption that, you know, X, Y, and Z is absolutely true because it knows this and knows that. I don't know. Like, it's all fascinating, interesting, a little bit scary, a little bit unsettling. Makes me think of, and I actually dug it out. But if you have not read this, oh, did I mess that up? Anyways, messing up the green screen thing. But anyway, that's George Orwell, 1984. If you haven't read it, great book. If you have read it, you'll understand why I kind of mentioned that. May chat about that a little bit later, though. And now my
certainly helps.
Oh, there
Alongside Chat GPT and DALL-E 2 is GPT-3, a natural language system that can also write, argue, and code. And Chat GPT uses an upgraded version of this to create text at incredible speeds. So that brings us on to Chat GPT. What is Chat GPT? That's what you're all here for after all. According to a statement from OpenAI, we've trained a model called Chat GPT, which interacts in a conversational way. The dialogue format makes it possible for Chat GPT to answer follow-up questions, admit its mistakes, challenge incorrect premises, and reject inappropriate requests. ChatGPT is the third update to OpenAI's generative pre-training idea, which allows users to communicate with robots with seemingly natural dialogue. But its uses don't stop there. It corrects grammar, it summarizes difficult text into simple concepts, it converts movies into emojis, and it fixes bugs in Python code. ChatGPT was first opened up to beta testing in November 2021 through the Playground, and its launch this year is supposed to be an improvement on GPT-3 as to not provide any harmful outputs. The software itself has been trained by AI and machine learning, with massive amounts of text data from.
All right, so for those of you who don't keep up a lot with technology, there's one thing to be unpacked from this video is that there virtually exists an entire additional world that we're all living in, that we're all a part of, whether we realize it or not, because, you know, there's so many companies out who are big into data mining and utilizing that information for various goals or objective or whatever they've got going on. And as you can see, there's like just so many like they said, this is the third variation of this. So this isn't something that's brand new. It's just this specific version. And with it being as advanced as it is, this might be a first for that. But man, there's just so many things going on. And it's really mind blowing, you know, and it definitely encourages us to, or it's a good reminder that we need to keep our eyes open, even if we don't always stay up on the latest and newest of everything. Just pay attention to what's going on around us, at least the best we can.
Various sources. The training used RLHF, reinforcement learning from human feedback. The Times newspaper in the UK describes ChatGPT as a stunningly lifelike conversational language system and described it as the world's first truly useful chatbot. This all seems a bit too good to be true, and maybe it is. We have to think about not only the limitations of the technology, but also the challenges and threats that it poses to society. The first immediate consequence of ChatGPT.
I just got an idea. Let's see how good this thing really is. Who is Steve Dad 317? This thing better not kick out my address and all kind of other stuff. I don't have information. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't have information on a person named Steve Dad 317. Is there anything else I can help you with? Questions. Should I start a YouTube channel? Wow. And this is kind of how fast these questions come up. So I do kind of, I am blah, blah, blah. I am glad I stopped to kind of demonstrate this. I'm not going to read through it all, but I want to ask it something a bit more complex than this. Okay, it looks like it's going through breaking down details about how to start a channel as well. All right. Explain to a, say, 10-year-old. Quantum physics. Okay, very small things like atoms and particles. It helps us understand how to work on a tiny scale. Hey, listen, if you've tried utilizing this AI, this software, this OpenAI robot, text bot, whatever you want to call it, put it down in the comments if you have any thoughts, any opinions, any experience with it. I am going to go back to the video I had started watching. I definitely want to finish that video, but I just kind of wanted to show people who aren't fully familiar, like what it looks like. This is I said this is a screen. It's in real time. I think one of the scariest things is, let's say, all right, an essay about Harry Potter sorcerers. So, you know, and I'm thinking of people being in school and having homework to do, and let's just kind of see what it comes up with here. But this could be a game changer for a lot of people. Could also maybe be a catalyst for laziness some of the times. Okay. All right, and bear with me. I'll be jumping back to the video. Actually, I guess I can go back to the video while this is typing out. Let's see how long or what it considers an essay. Yep. I'll double back here in a second. I'll double back.
Was that its own website had frozen due to massive demand, with more than 1 million people signing up.
Hold on.
The first immediate consequence of ChatGPT was that its own website had frozen due to massive demand, with more than 1 million people signing up to use the software in just 5 days, which is quite incredible, forcing OpenAI to quickly scale their systems. ChatGPT is still in its early stages of development, therefore its knowledge base is limited, and mostly linked to 2021, which renders some questions useless. When Elon Musk found out that OpenAI was accessing Twitter's database to train ChatGPT, he paused the access because OpenAI is no longer a non-profit and open-sourced. Therefore, they should pay for this information in future. As you might expect, there are some ethical implications that come with this type of chatbot, particularly around new videos that have surfaced where coders can use it to write their code and school kids can use it to answer their exam questions.
Look at this. Let's say I have this problem. I just copy from my homework, I'll paste it, and within seconds, it literally shows you how to do it, says how to do the math, and at the end, the answer is, wait, it's coming. The answer is B. B. And then you can go to the exam, you go to B on number 5. Question 5. B.
Gone are the days of homework and open book.
Yeah, I tell you what, let me see if this other screen is finished yet. All right, so that was almost the end of it. But anyways, you see right here, it came up with this variation of an essay. Pretty sure it looks like it's probably an opening, 3 supporting paragraphs, and maybe a conclusion. But yeah, back to our video. Right here is guys basically proving a point that I was just kind of mentioning, but let's let this thing finish rolling.
Exams. Some troublemakers have also shared how they were able to avoid the content moderation, forcing the bot to disable its ethical guidelines, followed by a tutorial on how to make a Molotov cocktail. Further implications include how people could be the target of generative AI. For example, deepfake videos, explicit content, or propaganda, questioning user privacy. This type.
All right, real quick, for the record, there are a ton of things that, a ton of advancements that have been made, you know, and by mankind that get turned and used for evil, you know, like splitting atoms, like excellent, you know, source of energy, and then people are making atomic bombs, killing multitudes of individuals. Like it's the internet, great resource, you know what I mean, making scholarly information, you know, quickly and readily available. and now it's become like a porn streamline for people of all ages. Cell phones, these mobile devices, like it's great for keeping up with people. Now that also is utilized for tracking and who knows whatever else. Uh, and it's just so many things. So I imagine this will not be any different.
Type of generative AI can also push people out of work. DALL-E 2, the text-to-image AI, has now been linked to Shutterstock, which has caused outrage given people are now competing with AI to sell their photos online. However, Shutterstock's CEO, Paul Hennessy, has a slightly different view. I think there are two choices in this world. Be the blacksmiths that are saying cars are going to put us out of the horseshoe making business, or be the technical leaders that bring people, maybe kicking and screaming, into the new world. But this doesn't just apply to photos. Some are saying that Chat GPT's ability to generate human-like written text could see the beginning of the end of journalism, whereas others feel it lacks the nuance and critical or ethical thinking skills that are required. The threats that Chat GPT poses to society might seem.
All right, so one of the things that I imagine it will never be able to do is to form an opinion. I think that'll be the distinguishing factor. And I think that's how people will be able to tell if something, like, once an individual is willing to express their opinion, but then at the same time, like, we live in a day and age where, like, it's almost frowned upon to express your opinion about anything. Like, everything has to be all inclusive, nobody's opinion, and it's, I don't know. This is just an interesting time. It's something I'm gonna have to sit down quietly and think about. Like, go out back in my hammock or something and just think about it a while.
Shocking. But these threats and challenges will also help OpenAI to fix loopholes and workarounds, which is why they've released this version to the general public. They've already said that some answers are incorrect because there is no source of truth in the data they use to train the model. Sometimes ChatGPT's complex and detailed answers also mislead people into believing that the answers are true. Sometimes though, you have to think of the positives.
All right, listen, that is really important because I have noticed online, if a person gets to writing something and there's a bit of truth in there and they can sandwich a ton of BS in the middle, most people will never question it. Or if it comes from like a source that somebody assumes is a credible source, they'll never question it. I remember there was a point in time, definitely like recently also, but definitely like 2-3 years ago, where every single thing that happened that involved a firearm, I kid you not, the media, everything was an assault rifle. Orange person goes in with an assault rifle, this and that with an assault, and it's like, bro, look at what they like. That's not even almost an assault, but that's just kind of that picture the media was constantly portraying, and then people started believing it. And of course, there are some people who took the time, like, bro, look at the entire story, look at the details, or look at the pictures, like that's not what it was. But anyways, first thing comes to mind, but it definitely happens. Let's finish this one out.
Like people who run online businesses who can now use ChatGPT to help customers with live chat queries that don't take all day and feel much more natural, helping business owners to make a sale. In spite of the limitations and concerns, many in the tech world see ChatGPT as a look into the future. Generative AI is the next era-defining innovation which will change how we interact with the internet. Some think this is the end of Google. Why scroll through ads when you can ask a question and get an accurate answer? ChatGPT's Q&A is free to the public, with many people suggesting that a future iteration could include cost per question. At some point, ChatGPT will likely have to pay for itself.
Cost per question definitely is not going to be the answer. I mean, what happens when you type something and it gives you an answer, but it's basically because of the way you worded it. You're like, oh, let me word it differently so I can actually get an answer I can use. That's not going to be the answer.
You may see adverts on future models,
maybe
or there might be
subscription or
microtransactions. No one can predict the future, however. It could mean mass unemployment to anyone in the arts world, or it could just be a useful tool for students to cheat on their homework. Its impressive rise in just a week has made it worthy of discussion, and the fact that it's already being compared to Google and the iPhone makes it sound like some football wonder kid that every manager wants to sign. For now, it's more of a meme machine, and OpenAI seeks to understand what it can and can't do. Whatever comes of this new age technology, we'd like to welcome you to the future.
All right, like I said, definitely a very interesting video. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions down in the comments. I've got some additional thoughts. I'm gonna hold them. I maybe respond to some people directly and share more about what I'm thinking. Anyways, hey, I appreciate you checking this out. Chat GPT. This is the future. This is my future, your future, world's future. All right, Steve Dab 317, positive vibes only, and I am signing out. Peace.